play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bombs going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bombstas Dingo gonna find Rainer.
Oh, the life finder keeps Maiev up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill. Welcome back, everybody, to Nexus Gaming Series.
Hi.
We have a B West game coming at you tonight between sOaK eVeRy and ReGen Blue. I'm wearing my ReGen shirt today. Wearing a red one. Rip. ReGen Red. I'll be your host tonight, Aero. I am joined by Butte Holiday in her second, technically, cast of
It's a co-cast.
NGS.
I'm
So,
a co-caster. Let's clarify that. But
yes,
hello,
second
everyone.
co-cast. Joining the team for the evening. So, looks like both of the teams are available. Let's go ahead and take a quick look here at the maps. So we had a few map bans here. Braxis and Volskaya were banned out by ReGen Blue, and then we have the other side, Tomb of the Spider Queen and Infernal Shrines being banned out by sOaK eVeRy. And we're gonna go to BOE.
Ready.
So they are. I'm trying to find ReGen Blue on the list here. Oh,
I
they're
wish
there.
Praxis wasn't banned, but it is. So
Right.
that's okay.
Quick peek at the standings. We see ReGen Blue and sOaK eVeRy are tied with a few other teams all the way up to logical decision there at number 5. So number 5 through number 9. Both teams are ready. We're basically ready. I'm ready. Are you ready?
I am always ready.
All right.
Always, but I'm ready.
Ready enough, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so up to them to get this going. So Battlefield of Eternity. We just saw this map a few minutes ago.
A few minutes.
All right, an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Time traveler. Yes, we did.
Something like that. Let's go ahead and go into our draft screen. So in our earlier game, we saw an Exterminator Rainer. We saw the Artanis and we saw the Vala along with Gul'dan. This is a division higher, so we're already getting some different bands with the Ana Johanna. Ooh, that sounds so good.
Ana Johanna, yeah. The Ana ban is, despite the grenade nerf, she is still a very strong healer. A noob, pretty typical. I'm not sure if it's typical in this division, but it's pretty typical in Div C, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's still pretty common overall, I think. And yes, BMed, welcome to the ultra widescreen format of the Aero casts. So, but even in Div B, we do see Kael'thas being banned out over some other mages. Kind of interesting on BOE. I don't necessarily feel like Kael'thas is your top tier mage for BOE. You know?
Yeah, I think, I mean, around the objective, there's much more space than, you know, Braxis. I mean, even Volskaya, you know, Infernal, there's still a good chunk of room, but I guess maybe it's, do you have to walk away from the Immortal stun and spread the bomb, or do you take the Immortal stun and not spread the bomb? Maybe that's what they're afraid of. But I mean, I think two typical picks, at least on this map. I think Tyranda's a great pick, as is Rainer and Greymane. I don't know, good picks coming out so far.
Yeah, I mean, both teams really showcasing, at least early in their drafts, the willingness to push for the Immortal. both ETC has great zoning potential as well to allow Kurma to spend as long as he wants just shredding that immortal. Greymane being kind of a top tier immortal burn without really needing tons of talents to make him that way.
And Greymane is pretty scary to a squishy. He may be a little bit of a squishy himself, but to be honest, as a healer main, he's a little terrifying to see him coming at you. So
we are going to see. Yeah, we're going to see the Imperious ban, which is I'm okay with that. These a lot of areas where you can get a Celestial Charge and just kill people so easily.
Samuro.
Wait, whose team's banning Samuro? B-Med is in chat. He's not even in the game. How are they banning Samuro? This is so awkward. Like I feel like if I remember correctly, I think I've seen Fox play Samuro, so it's not super surprising.
I mean, I'm not. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yes, Anduin. Yes, I have nothing more to say about him other than I think he's an excellent all-around healer. That's all I'm gonna say, because that's all I promised I would say. But Alarak, I think, is very powerful with that pull-in and the silence, as well as the peel potential for, you know, pushing away. But Anduin's got that root, potential light bomb combo with the ETC, even the Alarak, maybe the Greymane. Chromie.
So
As was called out in chat, I expect you either Kale or Chromie from Strogs. Well, you called it. Congratulations, you're
I mean, it is his team.
There you go. Oh, there you go.
So okay, fair enough. So we've seen some Chromie play on BOE, and she can actually do a pretty significant amount of damage, so that's fair.
Chen.
Interesting.
Pandemonium.
Interesting team setup. So I guess, like, if you're Garrosh, you're looking to get a Tyrande stun when you flip somebody, or a Blaze Charge. Certainly gives you that kill potential. And they do have, like, Greymane diving in on the Garrosh, you know, leads to a dead Greymane if they're not able to really just convert that kill very quickly. As far as interrupts, you've got the Raynor. I mean, they really have a lot of ways to interrupt. I mean, Blaze can do it, Garrosh can do it, Raynor can do it, Tyrande can do it. So, you know, I expect to see some light bomb action. I mean, the pick is still Mosh, right? I mean, Mosh is the only ultimate that ETC has.
I think with their type of damage that they have, and I think the combo potential, you know, with Anduin as well. You know, maybe you don't get everybody in the mosh, but you're able to at least stun somebody out of potentially interrupting the mosh. So there's a lot of combo potential with those two. But I'm gonna be honest. I'm sOaK eVeRy. I'm real scared of that comp. I would not want to be going against it. But you know what? Here comes ReGen Blue, ready to go. Taking up this challenge. I'm excited to see this matchup. I think it'll be a good one.
Well, why don't you go ahead and introduce the ReGen boys in blue in red?
Sure, I would love to. We have Jason on Anduin. Love Anduin. We have Mongoose on ETC. Fox on Alarak. Kurama on Greymane. And on the Panda, bringing Pandemonium, we have Grendel.
Alrighty, and for the blue team, we've got sOaK eVeRy. DMN going to be playing Raynor. Chromie's going to be picked up by Strogs. Kid for Tyrande. Apocalypse on Blaze. And Philip K, the captain, on Garrosh. Popping up these talents here. We do have the Warbringer quest at level 1. It looks like they did go Exterminator for the race.
And Jason taking a bold strategy. Will Fox be able to get out? Yes, he will.
And Apocalypse there trying to make it out away from Kurama.
Will not.
Getting that damage split all around, but Chromie's sitting at 9 stacks already on her Q, so 20% almost of the way to having that completed.
And that is an excellent combo, I think, that ReGen Blue was just going for right there. The pull, the ETC, and the push out, I think that's a good combo. Likely we'll get to see it again. Uh-oh. And Mongoose anchoring that bush, gets thrown, but is able to walk away relatively okay.
Yeah, and they can play a little bit aggressively too because of having that Anduin with the Leap of Faith potential. Pretty decent range on his healing as well. The Divine Star also. So, I mean, there's a lot of value that they can get about playing aggressively into that Garrosh with the Anduin to kind of pull things back if they need to.
What do you think about that camp clear on sOaK? I mean, they just, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, maybe you're denying the camp, but that was it was pretty good clear, and it's distance clear, arguably. You know, you got Blaze and Chromie, and able to kind of just put a little damage and have it just kind of, you know, die at some point at least. But that was relatively quick. I think that might be beneficial to them later on.
Yeah, again, you know, especially with the Chromie, when she gets her quest complete, which she's now at 12, she can put out some pretty decent immortal damage. So, you know, they've got between the Tyrande getting the big burst out of Chromie, the Rainer, like they have a lot of immortal burn onto this, and that's going to help them with camps. It's going to help them with the immortal. And if they can do it faster than Blue, then that gives them a significant advantage to put pressure in the other direction.
So what do you think about this early camp by ReGen here, ReGen Blue here? Already cleared in the top lane, and they were able to secure the top camp.
Yeah, so that gives them a lot of pressure from the siege camp now, and the siege camp increased in damage 30%. So, and sOaK every lane electing to kind of defend this and ignore that camp. They do have a little bit before that camp is going to become a problem, though.
ETC in a little bit, he's able to walk away. No focus on there, but Garrosh at half health here. Unstoppable's down. Loon's Chosen is bringing Garrosh back to life a little bit.
So Chen stayed down below, manages to clear up that camp, and we don't see the siege camp getting any value just yet for ReGen Blue, as they're going to set up all 5 members onto the point. Garrosh is going to get pulled in, stunned, and back to the graveyard he goes. So now they need to send Greymane back to start working on that immortal.
I'm a little surprised that he was that far up. I'm not sure if he was expecting a throw. Maybe it wasn't up. I didn't have his cooldowns on, but seemed a little bit risky to be up that far. Uh-oh, ETC. You have some good peel by the by Chen and Anduin, healing him up.
Yeah, and we've got Rainer fairly low on mana, but so is ETC. You know, he's sitting at 20% mana, so this really puts him in an awkward spot. He can't use all of his abilities and just win. And
oh, Jason trying to pull him out. Unfortunately, I believe that is on cooldown now. Yes, it is. That is a 70-second cooldown right now, at least.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but, you know.
And it is going to be the Blue Immortal, sOaK every lane. It has almost no shields, though. So, yeah, and that was just, I think, a little bit too aggressive positioning for ETC, who didn't have enough mana to really do it. Like, you can't face melt and power slide at that point. Is it enough, like, to make a difference? I don't know. He was probably just too far forward, but
yeah.
Here's the defense.
Making a wall here. Garrosh looking for a flip on Greymane. Good heals. Oh, Chromie finishes him off, though. Unfortunate.
Yeah, and now this Immortal about half health, but they don't have any real good Immortal burn without Greymane. Everybody's melee on this team.
I'm wondering if what the overkill was on that Greymane here, because I'm wondering if bold strategy may have, or a W, or what is it at 4? Why am I blanking on the talents? He's my boy. Would have helped him out there. Maybe that extra shield would have, or that extra healing from the W would have been able to keep him alive. But
perhaps.
Unsure though. I don't have the. Looks like they get almost 2 walls. Uh oh, Chromie in trouble.
Uses that time trap. Yeah, she's definitely gone. A lot of damage though onto Fox and Kurama with the. Who would that have come out from? Oh, I guess that was the Warbreaker. Stun damage, providing that dot damage. I was like, did they get a Gul'dan suddenly out of somewhere? I don't know. And there's the quest completion. Alarak pulling the Garrosh into the team. So 1 fort down. All of the wall down. Almost level 9 for both teams. There's the throw onto ETC. Looks like both of the tanks should be safe here.
We've got the pull up on Anduin, so the leap of faith. So we should be able to maybe see a little bit of risky aggression here. Maybe, knowing that they have that up. But again, it does not, people may die on the way, which is what happened last time, so got to be a little bit cautious of that on Anduin. But Jaezon's been, I think one thing to note is that Anduin sometimes have a lot of mana issues, and Jaezon's been able to kind of keep that in check and have those heals up for his team.
Well,
but
level...
looks like Alarak goes down already.
Yeah, level 10's online for sOaK every lane, catches the Alarak who was by himself. Taunt, stun, or I'm sorry, flip, taunt, stun, and that's a free kill for them.
I mean, I think that was a 5v3 or 5v2 if I'm not mistaken, because Anduin was bot. I'm not sure how many were top, clearing that top camp, but maybe that was maybe a miscommunication. Maybe he was trying to be, you know, just poking, but unfortunate. But he is back up now, so they may be able to do something here and turn it around. Tenzar online.
So it is the light bomb, but it's stage dive. So we can, in theory, we could even see a light bomb onto an ETC doing stage dive. That would be interesting.
That timing is key, though. If that that may be difficult for, I'm assuming they've practiced it potentially, but that may be difficult for some teams to execute, especially if they're not familiar with the timing.
Panda's coming out, and the big deadly charge onto Chromie. ETC stage dive in the back. But look at the 5-man stun with all those pandas.
That just was an excellent peel there by Alarak, pushing them away.
Very important considering how low everybody got there. And Kurama going to the Immortal to once again start on that Immortal race.
I mean, they have to be cautious here because, you know, at any point really they could be, their Immortal could be poked down. I think to sOaK every lane's advantage here, they kind of have that ability to do that. He's looking for a throw, maybe over the wall. Nope.
Fox in a little bit of danger here. He does not have Counter-Strike because he took the deadly charge. And they're all so very low as
so low.
Greymane and Chen both getting picked off by the Rainer. ETC trying to make it out, but the into the fray actually used to throw somebody into the fray. Not quite close enough though.
Yeah, they're gonna have to give that up, which unfortunate. They're probably looking, especially now that Greymane and Chen have just spawned, they have a little bit of time to put a little pressure even before the Immortal gets there, and they're doing just that.
Yeah, and this Immortal is really healthy. Greymane wasn't able to get too much damage on it. So straight into the keep wall now. And it still has more than half of its shield. And again, the only real burn that Blue has is the Greymane.
Yep. And I think sOaK every lane needs to be a little bit careful here to not be greedy, because I do think one team fight could definitely be deadly for them if they manage to overcommit here. But it looks like they're probably keep going down.
They've got 13 now. They have the advantage, so they weren't too worried about that. They know Chen wasn't anywhere nearby. They get a keep. thanks to that advantage, and they're rotating up there. Chen ultimately making the right call to pull back.
Yep.
And they're gonna, looks like they were heading up to this top camp, and good on them to recognize that that literally just came up.
Yep.
Went from blue to yellow immediately after the Immortal.
Yep, and I think that relieved a little bit with Chen staying top, a little bit of the pressure. But, you know, this camp is pushing right back real quick, so...
Yeah, and we're going to see aggressive camp invade here from sOaK every lane, because they did see probably all of ReGen Blue heading into that bot lane camp.
They have two camps to clear up top.
Yeah, and Blue committing all their resources to this. There's no real value to keeping one person in the bot lane because you're just going to get caught and killed, so... And they do see, they have vision of 4. Yeah, so they don't see the Chromie, of course. In the other direction, obviously they see all 5, not any longer. So there's only one place now to go on the map, and Tyrande giving vision is going to provide a lot of value.
I mean, do you contest this camp here?
I don't know that I would, but they come into it popping Unstoppable and throwing ETC back into that Swirling Sands.
No major damage done. No major, no ults used.
Yeah, but Garrosh is without an Indomitable. This...
Mongoose looking for something here. So this is a... I can't tell if this is a favorable spawn for, uh-oh.
Both tanks drop into half.
Real quick here.
And you can see Chen trying to find the flank here. Light bomb onto the deadly charge, just a little bit too late on the charge. There's the power, or the stage dive into the back. Loads of damage going out from that Starfall. Fox having to pull back. Greymane's gonna go down.
Oh my gosh.
And Grendel could be in a bit of trouble here as well, as 2 gets stunned by the Immortal.
Good pull. I think that was very strategic, forcing them to go into the near the Immortal stun at least. Unfortunately, he still dies for it, but.
So that's going to be a 3-for-0 trade coming out for sOaK every lane. I think that, you know, if Alarak has that light bomb hit at the right time, that's a very different fight. But having the light bomb go off just a moment too late turned that in the other direction, because now Alarak's in a very dangerous, aggressive spot without really a whole lot of support.
And, you know, maybe they're saying, okay, we need to communicate more effectively. Maybe, you know, it's a lot of times when you're trying to communicate, sometimes by the time the person is able to actually understand what you're saying, it's too late. And, you know, maybe you need to anticipate more. I'm not sure. But maybe the ETC is a safer bet for Light Bomb with the stage dive. But, I mean...
I'm not sure. I don't know. Let's see. How long does it take for stage dive? It's 1... Oh, it wouldn't work. 2.75 seconds. And Light Bomb's 1.5, so you couldn't do it.
Well, you could do it after. You would have to do it after. Tyrande goes down. Garrosh...
So that was a good gank there, which I was elsewhere on the screen thinking that people would go top lane.
Well, there was a trade there, so tank for a healer here.
And now sOaK every lane coming into the bot lane because they know that ReGen Blue is up in that top lane. They're going to start getting some damage here. Chen getting thrown into the sands and deleted. This is all of a sudden a very bad place to be. With only an Alaric. They may very well. They've got the Raynor just plinking away at the core. They have level 16s. There's a stage dive going to bring down Raynor. If they can kill Raynor, they have a shot, and they do. And there's the Garrosh followed up maybe by the Blaze. And all of a sudden they've got a defense, but they need to stop the Immortal that's coming in with a full health bar, just a little bit of shield as well.
Chromie hops on away in her little doe, or whatever it is, but of core at 55, 45.
This is gonna be close. I think they have it. I think they're okay. 15%. ReGen Blue.
Alright, a sigh of relief, probably. This game is not over. It is not looking great for ReGen Blue, but I've seen comebacks with the core at 1%. So it's not over until it's over. I think a couple good team fights, but they just need to be very cautious.
Yeah, and as this game gets later, a full Immortal, a good team fight, a full Immortal can go through the entirety of the lane and onto the core. So, and really, at level 20, either of these teams can just shred the core. So, and Garrosh leaving the game. We'll see if we get a pause.
Rip.
And Rainer able to get that top. And we do. All right, so we'll go ahead and switch back to the cameras.
Yay.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. So if you're blue here, what do you say? What is your focus going into these next? I mean, Immortals. Oh, back now. Well, I mean, what's your focus? What is your goal here?
You gotta land the combos, right? I mean, they've got the Greymane Cursed Bullet. They've got Storm, Earth, and Fire, which can do a load of damage, and they gotta land that Deadly Charge, Mosh, Light Bomb, whatever combination they're putting it in to make it work. They have to hit them, and if they do, and they can slow them down enough with the stuns, they'll make it.
Uh-oh.
And this is not a good spot if you're blue, because they know Chen's in the bot lane.
There we go. They backed off.
So maybe Garrosh is gone again? Yeah. Garrosh is Garrosh. They pinged Garrosh.
They gonna...
So we're currently sitting with an... Yeah, I was going to say, we're sitting with an AI Garrosh here. So we'll go... All right. I do want to welcome everybody who came over from Mark Zombie's stream. Welcome. We're at the very beginning of the match between sOaK eVeRy and ReGen Blue. And apparently Garrosh is back again.
Psychic, wow, I think Aero, I think you have a big fan. Apparently you're very handsome.
You know what? I completely understand Psychic's fanboyism. It makes sense to me. I mean, have you seen this smooth bald head that I have? I mean,
head goals.
You can't. Yeah, for sure. Let's see.
You don't have hair problems. That must be nice. I did my hair for this, okay, and it's already... Oh, and we're going back. All right, back to the game.
There we go. And I'll have you know, I did do my hair for this. It takes a long time to make my head look this good. But here we come with Blue coming in onto the Immortal, getting the race started a little bit early.
Positioning is key here. I think they need to initiate. They need to make sure that they are approaching and that everyone is at least Chen a little bit
well, there's the combo.
Stage dive, uh-oh. Blaze. Oh my gosh. Where are the health bars?
ETC gets taken out. The throw keeping Chromie alive there. Grendel on the Panda ends up getting killed. The 3-man jet propulsion, and this could very likely be the game, as Jason now also going to be the next sacrifice.
Greymane.
And it looked like the Deadly Charge coming out of Alarak there didn't quite hit its mark in the backside, and I think that, once again, if that hits, they get a kill. Maybe that helps them to offset the fact that ETC just died. But
I think Blue, I see what Blue is trying to do, and I think that it's a lot of pressure on execution. A lot of pressure on execution. And I think it's one of those comps that if one person's off by, literally half a second, everything could be off. And so I think that it's not easy for any team. It doesn't matter what level you are to execute. I see what they were going for, and I think they got it a couple times, but I think they weren't able to have a whole team execution in any team fights. I think that's what they struggled with a little bit.
Yep, I agree. And a lot of times, you know, they were just a little bit off, whether it was the light bomb that was a brief moment away from hitting who it needed to, or, like I said, that deadly charge at the end that, you know, just couldn't quite get onto... I don't recall who it was in that corner. There were so many health bars. You know, and it's not easy going into that choke point with Chromie slowing sands. You know you have catapults on your core. There's not a lot of time left. Trying to make something happen, and ultimately, you know, you pop the Storm Earth and Fire to get into the backline. You pop the stage dive to get some damage and slow them and try to make it happen. But, you know, the other thing about stage dive is it's a target. And Garrosh is just waiting for you, along with the Chromie, who can drop W-bomb on you. So, you know, Tyrande can stun you as soon as you get there. I mean, there's so many ways that they can interrupt that stage dive's value that you're hoping that slow and the damage is enough.
And, you know, ETC was picked early by Blue. So you know, and that's a risk you take, especially with that type of tank. You know, he has limited options in terms of, you know, I mean, there's only 2 ults he can pick, and so I think, yeah, like you mentioned, they were able to, you know, Garrosh was able to either walk away freely or, you know, throw him back into the team and say, you're not getting out. And I think, oh, there you go, you invited me to a game. I think sOaK every lane was able to, with that single target burst at least, you know, combo that individual to death. If they weren't able to capitalize, you were dead. So.
Yep. Well, let's go ahead and take a brief break here, just while we get all the both teams into the lobby. As now people are leaving the lobby, so we'll come back. Give us 2 minutes, and we'll see you in just a moment.
2 minutes.
When I was young, I lived a life of recklessness. In my selfishness, I inflicted pain and hurt those I cared for. I have learned many lessons in my struggles with doubt and fear. Balance and harmony are not easily attained. They must be fought for.
Good. Because you anyone.
On my journey, I have learned another lesson. You do not have to fight alone.
Let's do this!
dust to settle.
Play of the game from way down.
Two, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
the living bombs going.
Oh my goodness, the ring!
Bomb stats, Dingo gonna find Rainer.
All right, we're back from commercial break, and mostly I just wanted to show you guys the really awesome intro video that Mongoose put together for ReGen. Big shout out to ReGen. Absolutely. So we are.
Pass. Oh my gosh! It's like I forgot this map existed. No one ever played that.
And this was the pick of sOaK Every Lane as ReGen Blue won in first pick.
Respect ban. I'm guessing coming out of ReGen Blue here.
Yeah, you know what? A slowing sands in Alterac Pass. There are already places that really suck, and that just means that as far as like slowing you down with those mud pits, it just gets worse with Chromie.
Ugh, it hurts to think about. I'm gonna be honest.
And the other band now, Ana, followed up by Garrosh. So really looking at not having them be able to blow up their team quickly and easily.
I mean, I think they identified the two individuals on the other team that were causing the most problems. Here you go. What?
You're low.
I don't know, that's what Mert said. And a Chen ban.
You just low. Okay, let me turn you up. I had it turned down.
Low. Baggy
Turn it up
sweatpants. Joanna,
should be good now.
yay.
Murda, let me know if that's better for Butte's volume. Butte, why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit more?
Oh, okay. Joanna, one of my favorite tanks. I think all around one of the best. Peel potential, offensive potential. Just an awesome all-around tank. And we see sOaK Every Lane picking up Tyrande. Again, excellent on this map. Excellent single target kill potential. Sylvanas.
But I feel like that's a challenge. I mean, the early Johanna is interesting to me. I'm not sure, like, there's probably something, there's a reason that they took Johanna probably to prevent sOaK Every Lane from getting it. So maybe looking at like a Maiev, possibly. Or there you go, or the Samuro that that was banned out last game. But I think that they took that specifically to prevent sOaK Every Lane from getting that heavy blind, but it gives them the Sylvanas on Alterac Pass. Probably the best map for Sylvanas to be on.
Yeah, I mean, and if she decides to take, I think, Wailing Aero, is that what it's called? I don't play a lot of Sylvanas. But there's a lot of vertical, not quite tunnels, but there's a lot of places where you don't have a lot of room to move side to side. So it's going to be really hard to dodge, at least. I mean, it's hard to dodge as is, but I think that if you're forced to tunnel them into that place, it's going to be even more difficult to, I mean, you can't really do anything. I don't know how long the silence is, but I forgot. But it's long enough to do some damage and, you know, could be a deadly combo. And a Noob and Jaina are the last bans.
Arthas and Blaze, so getting that Blaze again out of Apocalypse. So this is looking like a really scary comp for sOaK every lane. And so far, with the only damage being Samuro into the Arthas, like, okay, that's so be it, right? That's what you want.
I think you know, I'm on the fence about Arthas. I honestly can't tell who is the main tank, and I'm sorry if that sounds naive, but a lot of my recent games, maybe it's just my elo, have been Blaze main tank, and I've seen Arthas main tank. So I'm kind of like, I don't even know who in this situation would be, but I see an Orphea from ReGen Blue, and I'm happy. But what does this provide them in terms of their comp? Just seems, chain-wise, it just seems a little off.
So, you know, so you mentioned about the Wailing Arrow, which I think fits the same thing that I was talking about with the Swirling Sands, or Slowing Sands. And I think Orphea benefits a little bit from that same point, right? Is that people have to come in through a specific defined area, whether she goes Feast or, which I hope she doesn't with this setup, but or Crushing Jaws. You know, it's, I don't want to say easy, but it's relatively easy to get people into that kind of nice defined area to get your combo. The only the only hard CC they have is Anduin's Root, which is slow as molasses.
Yeah, and Joanna's assuming she takes Blessed Shield.
Yeah, but that's so short.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's long enough to chain, at least with Anduin, if you are guaranteed to hit somebody. But yeah, I mean, that's a great point. It's slow.
Well, let's go ahead and introduce our teams. For the blue side, we've got sOaK every lane, Apocalypse on the Blaze, Philip K on Arthas, Strogs on Kael'thas, Kid on Tyrande, and DMN 13 on Sylvanas.
And on the other side, on the red team, is ReGen Blue, which is weird. We have Grendel on the Falstead, Mongoose on Joanna, Jason on Anduin, Fox on Samuro, and finally Kurama on Orphea, the daughter of the Nexus.
So we'll see how this turns out. We do see Samuro already in the top lane. I expect that at the 1 minute mark that Samuro will be working on that camp, and that maybe Grendel will swap out. And there's that root onto Arthas. So we do see Arthas as the main tank, which is, you know, I think perfectly fine. And we're rotating out now. We've got Blaze in the top lane, getting down to half from the Samuro damage. And teams kind of rotating around. We do see Samuro on that point right at 1 minute, so he's starting it. Sylvanas and Tyrande coming over here to get onto theirs. So a little bit of a difference in resources that are required to be committed to get these camps, as Kael'thas there dealing with the Johanna Anduin in the mid lane. But bot lane looked a little equal there between Arthas and Falstad, which is not what I would have expected.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised as well. I think Arthas is looking for those stacks, but I think it's going to be, with the mobility of Falstad, I think it might be a little bit difficult in that lane to maybe get them. But he seems to be, they're doing a little chase here. I'm not sure if they're just trying to, looks like he gets the kill. It is the first kill on the Falstad. Seems like he was just trying to dance around a little bit. Both teams with their camps in mid.
Yeah, and a little bit closer to ReGen Blue's side of the map. Ultimately, not really mattering too much, but it does allow them a little bit safer clear. Although they are standing in the living bomb coming out of the camp there. Got to be careful about that spread.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Speaking of Living Bomb, let's take a look at what we've got for our talents here. So we do have the reduced mana cost and cooldown on Gravity Lapse. Possession for Sylvanas.
What do you think about that on that map? I'm not sure when that's typically taken or what the benefit would be as opposed to Merc Queen.
Yeah, I think a lot of time you don't spend with the camp pushing, although obviously you can, right? You can get value out of that with your Sylvanas pushing, but ultimately I think that the possession helps them to pop in a lane, pop a couple of those points, and go back to doing whatever it is that they wanted to do elsewhere on the map, whether it's on the prison camps, whether it's on getting another camp or what have you.
I mean, do you think that's beneficial with Grendel taking Seasoned Marksman with minion kills? I mean, that would be more minions for them to kill.
I do not believe, I don't know this with absolute certainty, but Orphea is going to get caught by the jump propulsion and goes down up top here.
Oh man.
I don't believe that would stack, because when you take possession and you convert minions, you get the value of killing them then, but the enemy team doesn't get any value.
Okay.
So if you convert minions on Spider Queen, you get the gems. If you convert a mage minion, you get the globes.
So the benefit's always on your side. Interesting,
Yeah.
then. Well, then, I am not, again, disclaimer, I'm not a Sylvanas player. I basically only know how to play healer. And Jaina, who's basically, so, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I've heard different perspectives on different maps, so that's good to know. We are seeing a little bit of perspective in the chat on Anduin's level 4 as well as Fox's level 4, and some disagreement there. So any thoughts on well,
let's come back to that.
We might get a pick here.
Yeah, so we did
Anduin here.
We did see Samuro able to get over here and is actually just melting Sylvanas, but getting a significant amount of time there on the point. Jason going to pause the blue.
Both teams seem to be taking back control.
Yeah, and Arthas getting very low there into that damage, but again, Fox up here in this top lane, keeping the sOaK going. Falstad has been bot lane this whole time, got a tower, soon enough can probably get a second tower even. And here he goes again.
And they've been, it hasn't really done much damage to ReGen Blue, to be honest, not having him there. I think they've been holding their own.
Overall, thanks to this Samuro in the backline, able to channel this, that's absolutely insane. And now he's just going to walk away. They're 3 seconds away now. They just got their camp. They are getting so much value everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. I think sOaK every lane's like, do we just sOaK every lane at this point? Like, what do we, how do we deal? They're being pressured on every front. Do they commit to the objective? Do they go back and sOaK and give up the objective? I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, and they've got Arthas pushing hard into the enemy team. Fox is going to try to get over there, see if he can't get those last 3 seconds before the channel finishes for blue. Kael'thas is going to stall it out. And they're really trying hard to stop this blue push and just barely unable to do so. Johanna about to die?
Uh-oh. Oh, man. Blaze. On fire.
Oh, man.
Sorry. Listen, if you're not bringing the dad jokes, I will.
That's fair. So now, this is, we did see good value out of bottom. Grendel got half of that fort down. We saw camps going, so they got mid lane. Nothing really out of top, but that's okay. The challenge here is that now you've got a Sylvanas on the other side, but they did get to 10 before value started happening, and they're ahead. Blue doesn't have it. sOaK every lane just got their 10s.
There's a lot of interesting talent choices that we should definitely get into at some point. I think once the action dies down a little bit, but I think some of these talent choices are potentially contributing to how these team fights are playing out.
Oh man, and look at this. Fox is in the back line on the
Oh,
Kael'thas.
jeez. And the Gust.
And that's going to be a Kael'thas and an Arthas and Tyrande in trade for the Samuro. It looks like
Oh.
Falstad is going to be just fine.
Excellent pull. Glad Anduin had that healing to pull him out.
That leap of faith. Grendol's sitting there the whole time going, I know you got this. I know you got this.
And I think that that's something that a lot of Anduin players need to make sure they're, hey, I have this up. You know, you maybe can step a little bit far up. And I'm sure Jason was saying that. And hey, you can stay up there. I got you. And hey, it ended up working out. So there you go.
And so they do lose one fort. Not the worst outcome they could have expected out of that. So, you know, all told, they did get a pretty significant amount of their own value for not getting the cavalry. So we'll see how this goes in the next round. Now that ultimates are available. And let's take a look at those. So,
Oh boy.
yeah, so ultimates. We've got the Army of the Dead, Starfall, Phoenix, the Wailing Arrow, and of course the Combustion, the latest flavor of the month for Blaze.
It's yeah, I'm actually, I don't think those are too odd from the side of sOaK every lane. Combustion, I mean, I think people are on the fence about, to be honest. But hey, it has its places, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in, I think the 4s and the 7s I think have been, I don't want to say abnormal, just different from what I was expecting. For example, Tyrande's 7 cooldown of a Light of a Loon, which not a bad talent. I'm just surprised that they did not opt for the spell armor or the cleanse with the amount of CC that they do have. But maybe they didn't feel as threatened by the CC, and maybe I'm not sure. Oh, there goes the light bomb.
Does manage to hit Arthas and into those crushing jaws. But
Blaze
Johanna
is
pays for it.
pretty aggressive here on the back line. Gust comes out. This KT is a little bit, he's like, I'm not messing with this Samuro here. Which is a smart choice on his part.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to try to start this channel, but there's a lot of potential poke. Orpheus got long range. Even Jason with his Chastise has a pretty long range, and there goes Fox looking to get in on this point. And again, with those cloned images, he can just do it. And so they're slightly ahead. Both teams do get the channel started, but they're slightly ahead because of the Samuro value.
I mean, I'm a little surprised that they're not reacting faster to this. I mean, maybe they're just like thinking, you know, we can go all in on this. And Arthas again going pretty deep in the hole there. Blaze, he might be in trouble. Down goes Arthas. Johanna with the with the falling sword. There goes a light bomb, hits 2 of them.
And it's the back line too. The 2 you want to hit. The Chastise hits onto Kael'thas. He's got to pull away from the crushing jaws.
Should die here. Oh no, Orphea! Oh, Orphea, please. No.
And now Mongoose trying to make it away from Sylvanas. Will pop the Iron Skin to do so. A little bit more time again for Fox on the blue camp. But
a lot of mid pressure from sOaK every lane here, pushing it. I mean, up to the wall, nearly. ReGen Blue opting for their camp. It's a big wave top for blue.
Do want to take a moment to shout out Weenus coming in with the 69 bits twice, and then one more so he can be on top.
Moist Weenus! Thank you. It's not my channel, but thank you. Thank you for calling out Aero's sexiness. That's excellent.
What she said.
There you go.
Ditto. I say all those things. And cavalry is going to go over to the blue side. So sOaK every lane gets the cavalry once again. And with the Sylvanas, they're going to get value. The only question is where.
I mean, this is a pretty aggressive push for losing the objective here. But, well, they have that pressure up there. Can you sneeze on it? 118. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, they'll get to that eventually. And we've got, what, 3 versus 4 in the bot lane here as Fox is trying to clear up the middle. And that Arthas being right up in the face of ReGen Blue. Apocalypse trying to jet propulsion away from Grendel there as Fox sending one of his minions up there to catch up to him as well. And on to the keep wall. Cavalry about half health. They've got Sylvanas. Doesn't look like she's got her trait just yet, but the light bomb goes out.
On the back line, Tyrande may be in trouble here.
Popping the Starfall though.
And
Mongoose is getting deleted, and Grendel now also in danger. DMN taking out Fox as well. This
I was not expecting that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought Blue had that fight in the end there.
And interesting enough, you know, you mentioned the level 7 for Tyrande on that cooldown reduction. I wonder if that is in response to or in spite of the fact that Johanna is kind of a soft counter to Tyrande with her blinds, being able to prevent her from getting that cooldown reduction.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrande needs to auto, so people that, you know, kill all the minions and, you know, have blinds, it's difficult to heal. So I think in this case, you need to make the heals count. So, I don't know. People have their reasons, and, you know, especially healers, sometimes you counter synergize, sometimes you synergize, or, you know, it's... I personally would have taken either of the other two. It's not a bad talent. I mean, you can't really go wrong, but I think, like you mentioned, perfect example, you know, with the blinds. And she is getting dove in the back line, so she's not being ignored.
Right.
So, you know, I think if she was being ignored, it would be a different story, but I think another interesting one is Orpheus 7. I've seen this on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Any thoughts on that 7?
I haven't seen that level 7 since, before you were born. All right, maybe not, but it's been since she came out that the level 7 chomp stacks was really the way to go. It is an interesting setup with all of this too, because it used to be before they changed the level 16 that you would also take the level 16 chomp because you got double chomp and you could just murder anybody.
Yep. I mean, the potential for, you know, I mean, do they need more damage? Maybe not. I mean, Anduin is going a damage heavy build. I personally am not a fan of that build, but it has its places. So
Anduin's going full disc priest, right? Damage things to get healing is what he's trying to do. But look at the Falstad getting rooted, double rooted, followed up by the Arthas.
Does he have? Light bomb goes out. Every ult in the game has been used except Gust, but he's dead, so he can't.
So people died, and mostly it's red at this point. Red team.
That was a good read by Mongoose. Nice pull by Jason. Can they still get out under the tower? Sylvanas is trying to prevent some of that turret damage, but tower damage.
And this is no bueno for ReGen Blue here. As now the the keep wall will go down. They should pretty easily be able to start this channel. And with only an Anduin and Johanna for 10-15 seconds, I mean, they also could have possibly gotten this camp.
I was just gonna say, I mean, would you even? I mean, no bosses have been taken this match. Do you think bosses? I mean, do you think a boss call would have helped at all at any point? I mean, it's just interesting. I mean, boss is decent. You know, it alleviates some level of pressure, but
I don't think that, like, specifically right there, I don't think they had the time to do it because the team would have been up long enough or quickly enough. They have Gust. You know, they could have gotten there to counter it. I think that they probably should have gotten, you know,
Their camp.
2 people, like the people that needed to get the prison camp and leave the other 2 to get the null camp to keep things going in the middle, and then they're safer. But level 20 is now online for sOaK every lane. And Falstad's in a bit of trouble.
Oh my gosh, Blaze going in real ham here.
And that light bomb looked like it hit people, but nobody stopped moving. So I don't know. Falling Sword coming out as well. Living Bomb onto Jason. He manages to just barely get away from the jet propulsion. Starfall on the wall.
Man. I mean, these arrows have been pretty good. I mean, they might not have pursued the chase necessarily, but I think it really forces them to back off, and it prevents a re-engage from ReGen Blue here.
Yeah, and now they're gonna take this keep. I don't know if Black Arrows is available. They could even go to the other keep, but they don't really need to. They have 20-25 seconds.
Yeah.
They've got cavalries coming in. This is looking very much like game. I don't even know if, even if they got kills, if Blue could have defended this.
Nope, I don't think so. Not with the Joanna and the Anduin. Maybe with...
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 is going to go over to sOaK every lane.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Flip that over to the stats. So tell us a little bit about the game there while I reach out to our winning team.
I think overall, I mean, the damage numbers are low. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I think from the side of sOaK every lane, though, that's kind of the point. You know, you don't necessarily need a lot of damage to finish kills. You know, 15-7, not a lot of kills. You know, this wasn't a high kill game, but they got kills when it mattered. I mean, holy crap, the Blaze, like, now I'm like, do I perma-ban Blaze? Like, I don't want Blaze in my backline anymore. Like, I just think that CC, the slow, the combustion, the Arthas, like, all of that just enabled the KT to spread that living bomb, the Tyrande to stun, the Sylvanas to just spread that damage. It was a lot, and it was very quick. I think the fights, if they were longer, I think that maybe Blue could have benefited more, but I don't think they had the time because they already had 1 or 2 players down. So I think looking at stats, excuse me, is a little deceptive, but I think that sOaK every lane did what they were supposed to do with the comp they brought. I just think the talents some of them were just very were interesting. I'll say that, to say the least.
Sure.
But you know what? Like, props to Combustion Blaze, you know, when it's used well, and he used it well, and they used it to their advantage. So, props.
Well, let's hop in and have a chat with Philip K in Lobby 3 in NGS.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, so we are here with Philip K from sOaK every lane. Congratulations on your victory.
Thanks.
So how did that feel, winning these games over ReGen Blue?
Oh, I'm so proud of my team right now. We played well, we drafted well, we executed what we were trying to do well.
Absolutely, and you know, the first camp looked like it was gonna be really questionable in that game. Like, it could have gone either way. Samuro kept stealing it out from behind you guys. Falstad's in the bot lane by himself, but ultimately you guys get it with just a couple of seconds of difference. You continue that pressure throughout the game. I thought you guys played that very well, and certainly in game 1 as well on the BOE, allowing your comp to kind of shine with forcing the enemy team to just kind of deal with your Garrosh frontline and slowing sands prevention. So, you know, you guys did a fantastic job in both games for that. So,
thank you.
What was your favorite moment out of these 2 games?
Oh, it's got to be one of the times we blew them all up in game 1, where they would like dive in, and then Chromie would CC sleep them up, stop them all. There's so many different kinds of CCs, but yeah, stop them all. Put herself in stasis, and I would walk up, throw her out, taunt them all, and we would just kill them.
For sure. And you guys had the Rainer, Chromie, Tyrande, Blaze. Obviously, you had Blaze in both of those games, Tyrande in both of those games. And so what was it? So what is it about Blaze that was so impactful for you guys on that first map? Because he's not one that I see a ton of in BOE, right?
Yeah, he's beefy. He's got a really good AoE stun, even if it's a little hard to land, and they were really grouping up.
Yeah, they had a very melee-focused team, made it a little bit harder for them to kill Immortals too. So yeah, that definitely made it a little bit easier for you too. Sure.
And we didn't make it easy for them at all. The poking from the Chromie and the Rainer.
Right.
Yeah, I think you guys executed. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I ever see that comp that you guys had on BOE again, I might just unplug my computer. Like that is, I'm dead serious. No, I'm serious. Like from a perspective of like I play support, and so watching the team and having a difficulty, like who do I even heal in this situation? Like how do I mitigate this damage? And you feel like you just can't. And I think you guys banned Ana, which I think was an excellent ban, especially because her potential to mitigate that damage and prevent you from healing. So I think that was an excellent ban. But yeah, your comp was terrifying. You guys executed very well. I gotta ask, is your Blaze always this aggressive? Like, is he always this, or she? Are they always this aggressive? Because it seems to work out in their favor.
Yes. I think you have missed the moment where I am way more aggressive than my Blaze. It usually doesn't get me killed. Usually. Yeah, we've got a very aggressive team even when playing a comp like that.
For sure. So we've got another game that I'm going to try to sneak in here. They're waiting for us right now. So I do want to give you the opportunity to throw out any shout outs to chat, your family, friends, opponents, team members, whoever you want to say hello to.
Alright, let's see. I'm going to give a shout out to my team for playing so well that game. We were on point tonight. And yeah. Alright, I'm not going to keep you guys any longer.
No, you're good. You're good.
Alright.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us. Glad that we could get this to happen for you. Have a great night and enjoy your victory.
Thank you.
Great games.
You too.
All right. So we're going to take just a short break here while I adjust the stream. And we are picking up a game from C West. This is going to be Almost Legends Obsidian and Can't Counterpick Stupid. We'll be back in just a moment.